Hello, friends. Once again, I welcome you all for my class on interactive methods to explore a molecule as a harmonic and anharmonic oscillator using Excel or any other programming languages. We will explore basically a diatomic molecule. Friends, the, uh, I have already explained the previous interactive method to explore the rotational spectra of a diatomic molecule. Today, we would like to set up a computational exercise to explore an harmonic oscillator as well as an harmonic oscillator. And once you understand the harmonic oscillator and anharmonic oscillator, we can also explore vibrational spectra of a diatomic molecule. So, you see, basically, uh, the objective I would like to discuss. So let me first give you a slideshow presentation. So friend, you see this interactive method is basically suggested to explain the vibrational motion of atoms in a diatomic molecule. You see both the atoms are rotating as well as vibrating. And we want to see now the role of vibration in a molecule. And we want to also study a harmonic oscillator today. So you may have an atom in a solid which is also oscillating uh, about its mean position. So we have atom in a solid working as a harmonic oscillator, and we have a molecule in which both the atoms are vibrating, right, that we want to understand. The method presented in this exercise produces a interactive and a visual output of a potential energy curves of an harmonic and anharmonic oscillator on the screen of the computer. You know that when an oscillator is oscillating under the influence of potential energy, the potential energy is parabolic. And we know the expression of potential energy V of R generally, or we can write V of x is equal to 1 upon half kx square, where k is the force constant. And generally, we are familiar with the potential energy curve. So now what we will do today, that today we will draw the potential energy curve of a diatomic molecule. We will treat molecule as an oscillator, and we will see that both the atoms in the oscillator, I'm sorry, both the atoms in a molecule, molecule are oscillating about the mean positions. So we want to see that vibration. Yeah. We want to understand the vibrational motion of both the atoms. At the same time, you know that when you consider the atom which is oscillating in case of a diatomic molecule under the influence of potential energy, the potential energy is not exactly parabolic. It's not having a parabolic form. There is a deviation, and we want to see this deviation, and this deviation we treat it as a inharmonicity, and we treat as a mechanical inharmonicity. And when you consider a diatomic molecule, and when you study the inharmonicity, we treat this inharmonicity as an electrical inharmonicity. So, well, friends, I would like to explain this computational exercise. Okay, so let us understand that you know that whenever you have a mass of m and when you have its vertical oscillation, we are familiar with its vertical oscillation, that when the mass of m is attached with a stretch spring whose one end is fixed, and you see that look at this here, it performs a simple harmonic motion, and its fundamental frequency of oscillation we define by 1 upon 2 pi into square root of k upon m, where k is known as the force constant of the that is known as the spring constant, and m is the mass of the oscillator. So this type of oscillator we have already studied, and we have already obtained its equation of motion, and we are familiar with its differential equation of the simple harmonic motion here. Our intention is that we want to draw a pictorial representation of the potential energy curve, the potential energy under which, or under the influence of the energy, the mass of m is oscillating. So that we want to plot. We want to have a pictorial representation of the potential energy curve. We want to extend this idea basically. You see that now you can imagine that you have two dissimilar mass, let us say m1 and m2. You may consider the two spherical sphere of two different masses m1 and m2, and when they are connected with the two ends of the spring, you can see here you have a spring whose spring constant is k, and if you have a two dissimilar mass, you may have a similar mass, but let us consider two dissimilar mass, and they are attached with the two ends of the spring. And if you compress a spring and if you release it, then the system of two mass will perform a oscillation. Okay, so both the mass will perform the oscillation above their mean position. So entire system will oscillate. So now you can see that this system is analogous to our molecule. In case of a molecule, let us consider the diatomic molecule. In case of a diatomic molecule, we have uh, two similar or dissimilar atoms. If you have a polar molecule, then you have a two dissimilar metal. I'm sorry, dissimilar atoms. If you have a non-polar molecule, then you have an identical, like that is homonuclear or heteronuclear molecule. So you may consider that in case of a molecule also, there are two different atom or a similar atom. They are attached with the two ends of the spring, and if you compress the spring, then both the atoms will oscillate about their mean position. So here you can see this picture which you are familiar, that I take the mass m1 and m2, they are about the mean position, and once the system start oscillating, both the atoms are oscillating. So here with this concept, we will extend our idea for our molecule, and today we will explore HCl molecule. So we will draw a potential energy curve for HCl molecule, and we will find out its potential energy, which is a function of internuclear distance r. You see that this distance d meant both the atoms are at their mean position, and if you measure the distance d between the two centers of the atom, it's considered as distance of equilibrium, that is known as the bond length. Both atoms are having a chemical bond, right? They are linked with a chemical bond. Okay, and this is a covalent bond which you are familiar. And now you can see that you have a distance of equilibrium, that is d, and that is known to us. So let us consider an HCl molecule. Consider this molecule is behaving like a oscillator, that is we treat molecule as a harmonic oscillator. Here you see both the atoms are oscillating relative to each other. So what we will do when we want to draw its potential energy curve, we may consider one of the atom, let us say the atom M1, is fixed at the origin of the coordinate system. Of course, atom M1 is also oscillating, atom M2 is also oscillating, But when you want to set up the exercise and when you want to plot a potential energy curve of a diatomic molecule, you may consider that, let us consider your atom M1 is located at the origin of the coordinate system, and your M2 is oscillating relative to atom M1. So you can see that D is the distance D. This distance D is basically known as the bond length. Now, if you consider that this atom M2 is oscillating about this mean position, so you will get its next new position after the oscillation. You get the new position. Let us say. So this distance, if you measure this distance, you see, if I measure the distance with respect to the origin of the coordinate system after the displacement of atom M2, please remember, then the distance will be d plus x, where you please remember, please consider your atom M1. Here you see in picture, it is not mentioned that it is origin of the coordinate system, but please consider that when atom M1 is at the origin of the coordinate system, and if you consider atom the relative motion of M2, right, then you will see that after the displacement of atom M2, you will have the distance between the atom, let us say this is atom 1 and atom 2, will be d plus x from the center of that. So d plus x is considered is equal to r, where r is a distance measured from the origin of the coordinate system. Please remember, we want to set up the exercise. So we first set up our coordinate system. So I consider atom number 1, that is having mass m1. I consider it is located at the origin of the coordinate system, right? And I consider atom m2 is oscillating relative to the atom m1. So when atom m2 is oscillating relative to the atom m1, you have the displacement of atom m2. Let us say displacement is x. Okay, displacement is x. So when you measure the distance of the atom m2 after the displacement x, your distance will be equal to d plus x from the origin of the coordinate system. Here you please consider that your atom m1 is located at the origin of the coordinate system. So d plus x is known as r, right? And once you find out r minus d, if you find r minus d, that is nothing but displacement of the oscillator. And r minus re will give you, I'm sorry, that is r minus d, it will give you displacement of the oscillator. So this displacement of oscillator we consider as x. So you know that both the atoms are vibrating about their internuclear axis under the influence of potential energy, whose expression is equal to 1 upon half kx square, where x is the displacement of the oscillator. So please remember this. This is the convention we will apply to work out the potential energy curve for an harmonic oscillator as well as enharmonic oscillator. So here your distance d is the d distance, which is basically it is the distance of equilibrium when both the atoms are at their mean position. That distance d is known as the chemical bond length. You have a bond, so this is known as the bond length, right? So this bond is the length of the bond which is given to you. So we will have a HCl molecule. So what we will do, we will take the mass of atom M1 is, you see, the suppose if you consider this is uh, chlorine atom, suppose. So you have a 35 atomic mass atomic units. And if you take this is a hydrogen atom, suppose this, so that will be 1 atomic unit. Okay, and 1 atomic unit you can convert into the gram by dividing by its Avogadro number. You can convert. Suppose if your 1 atomic unit you want to convert into the gram, you divide by its Avogadro number, that is 1 upon 6.02 into 10 raised to 23 will be the mass of your atom in terms of the gram. So this you please remember, you have calculated now the mass of atom M1, mass of atom M2, you know the bond length, you have calculated the bond length. So you know the bond length. The bond length is given to you, it will be given. So it is the input parameter. So there are two input parameter in this exercise. The input parameter you require the force constant. That is the force per unit length. That is a spring constant, because both the atoms are attached with the spring here. You see this, that is a spring constant. This spring constant is a force constant which you can kill, which will be given. So you have a two input parameter. You take K as well as RE. RE is given. So these two parameters will be given, and now you have to calculate potential energy curve. The potential energy curve, how do you calculate? You take different R, right? You see this is, suppose R means D plus X. So D plus X is R. So you take a different value of R. That is, R is known as an internuclear distance. R is known as internuclear distance. So if I take R, I will show you when we prepare the potential energy curve. In fact, I have prepared an Excel sheet where I would like to show you how you take the different values of R. Generally, you know that potential energy is minimum when both the atoms are about their mean position. That means when R is equal to RE, please remember, when R is equal to RE, potential energy will be minimum. So this, with the, you please remember that to select the value of R, we have to be very careful, because we want to take the potential energy curve. So we want to plot the graph of potential energy versus internuclear distance R. So when you take the value of R, your R should be having different range. So you take R equal to RE first, and you set your potential energy, that will be minimum. Then you take R equal to RE plus, let us say, 0.1 angstrom unit. Then you take R equal to RE plus 0.2 angstrom unit. Then you take R equal to RE plus 0.3 angstrom unit. R equal to, you take RE plus 0.4 angstrom unit. On the and similarly, you should also select the value of R on the other side of RE. So you take that now R equal to RE minus 0.1 angstrom unit. You take R equal to RE minus 0.2 angstrom unit, or you take RE minus 0.3 angstrom unit. So on both the side of distance of equilibrium, you have to select. So please remember, you have to first set up the value of possible values of R. The possible values of R will be R equal to RE. When R is equal to RE, potential energy is minimum. So you should take the different values of R. So you take R equal to now RE plus 0.1 angstrom unit, RE plus 0.2 angstrom unit, RE plus 0.3 angstrom. Similarly, on the other side, you take RE minus 0.1 angstrom unit, RE minus 0.2 angstrom unit, and you find out the potential energy V of R, potential energy V of R, and plot a graph of V of R versus R. You see potential energy we have Basically the expression of potential energy is equal to 1 upon half k x square, where x is the displacement which can be calculated as r minus re, and re is your d here. Re is basically the d, bond length. So once you understand this concept, you can now proceed. This is the setup, and now you can see this is the expression which we will use, which I have already discussed. And you can see the potential energy curve. You plot a graph of P of R versus potential energy. You have to basically plot a graph of V of R. That is basically the potential energy, 1 upon half kx square versus distance r. And you see when you set r equal to re, the potential energy is 0. And you see r minus re is basically the displacement of the oscillator that you know. So once you understand this, you will see that you will get a potential energy function and you will have a parabolic curve. But you see, in practice, when you study the molecule as an oscillator, you see generally in practice the potential energy under which both the atoms are vibrating is not purely harmonic. You might have studied in spectroscopy, molecular spectroscopy, that uh, that you have a polar molecule, and all polar molecule basically gives you vibration spectra. And there is a molecular requirement that you must have a permanent dipole moment. So when a molecule is vibrating, its dipole moment is changing, because dipole moment is basically a product of magnitude of charge into the distance, because it is measured into Coulomb meter. So dipole moment is basically a function of r, I would say. So as r is changing, you see, as r is changing, dipole moment is changing. The relationship is not linear. Basically, when you observe, or experimentally it is observed, the dipole moment is not linearly changing with respect to the distance r, and that is treated as inharmonicity, and it is known as electrical inharmonicity. So the potential energy under the influence of that, the atom which is vibrating about that mean position about the internuclear axis, is not purely harmonic. It is basically having some deviation. There is a perturbation in the potential energy term, and that we will see how to find out the perturbation energy. But there is a form, you can see, of course, I will just give you uh, the expression of molecule as an anharmonic oscillator, and the potential, and under the influence of that, both the atoms are vibrating, is given by the Morse potential. So this computational exercise is giving you a expression for the Morse potential, and it will give you an explanation about the how a dipole moment is changing with the distance r. And you will see the nature of potential energy curve. Because you consider, when a potential is purely harmonic, then you will have a parabolic curve. But when you consider potential energy is not purely harmonic, then you will have the deviation in a potential energy curve, which is known as the inharmonicity, which I said. So you see, I would like to suggest that you people have to use the Morse potential proposed by P.M. Morse. So to understand the potential energy curve of a diatomic molecule, you use this potential form. V of R is equal to dE. This is known as the dissociation energy, which you are familiar. The dissociation energy is energy which is required to dissociate both the atoms, right? And it is measured in electron volt. You can write down in joule also, you can write down in centimeter inverse also. This is the parameter. You see 1 minus exponential of minus beta, and you have a factor r, that is the internuclear displacement, and re is the bond length, right? And this is the Morse potential, and you have to plot the Morse potential versus distance r. So there are two potential energy curve you have to compare. You have to draw the potential energy curve, that is the harmonic potential, that is potential V of R equal to 1 upon half kx square. On the same paper, you have to plot a graph for a V of R for the Morse potential, where beta is the potential parameter. This is the potential parameter, and these potential parameters will be given for HCl molecule. You see, I have given the potential, the parameter DE is the dissociation energy for HCl molecule is 5.36 electron volt, and the potential parameter beta, naturally you know the dimension of beta will be 1 upon meter, because this is exponential factor, right? So it should have a, so this r minus re, suppose it is a dimension meter, so it will be in 1 upon meter, so it has no dimension. So naturally the beta which is given to you here, it has a dimension and it has a unit is 1 upon meter here, that is a meter inverse. So it is 1.73 into 10 raised to 10 meter inverse is the potential parameter which is given to you here. So once again, you take the same value of R which you have selected for harmonic oscillator. R is basically Re plus 0.1, Re plus 0.1 angstrom unit, zero point 0.2 angstrom unit. Please remember, you see, when you write the program or when you prepare an Excel sheet or when you write any code, please remember the units, because Re we are taking in angstrom, because Re is a bond length. So when you are giving an increment in Re, so you see, so that Re is Re plus 0.1 angstrom. You cannot write Re plus 0.1, right? Because this Re is basically an angstrom unit, and this is, so when you add the quantity Re plus something, so Re plus 0.1 angstrom unit, you should write down the dimension as well as the unit when you write the code. So whenever you write the programming, either you write in Fortran or you write down in a Python or you write in a C language program or you prepare an Excel sheet, please take care about the units and conversion. See, this is very important. In spectroscopy, we generally write energy in terms of joule, we write energy in terms of electron volt, and sometimes we express energy in terms of wave number units, energy calibrated in wave number units, that is, we express energy in terms of centimeter inverse, or we express energy in terms of meter inverse also. So be careful about the units, dimension and conversion, otherwise when you write the program, there will be many problems you will face. So with this, you can see now the, let us see the, once you calculate the, let's say, potential energy curve, and you know that when you treat molecule as a harmonic oscillator, of course, you have studied your quantum mechanics. You apply a Schrodinger equation, which you have already applied, right? When you study the vibration spectra, and the energy eigenvalue is given by h nu oscillating nu plus half. So once you know nu oscillating, you can, because k is given to you, mu is given to, mu is the reduced mass which you can calculate, right? And you calculate the fundamental frequency of oscillations of an oscillator. So you calculate the fundamental frequency, and once you calculate the fundamental frequency, you find out the energy eigenvalue of an harmonic oscillator. Show that that's energy eigenvalue. Find out the 0 point energy in terms of electron volt, and show that the energy levels are equally spaced. So this you have to explore with the help of this exercise. That the energy level you are getting possible vibrational energies, you get it right. You get various possible vibrational energy. So your diatomic molecule possess vibrational energy. It has, and it is quantized. Energy is quantized, so you get a discrete values. So this discrete value you will obtain using these expressions. In the previous exercise, you have calculated the rotational energy. Now you are calculating the vibrational energy. And once you know the vibrational energy, you have a vibrational spectrum. You can show the vibrational spectrum. You calculate energy level E0, E1, E2, E3 in terms of electron volt, and in terms of you calculate in terms of centimeter inverse, because you divide by Hc, right? And once again you divide by Hc, then you define another constant that is not the vibrational constant. Right? When you represent frequency of oscillation in hertz, so you write this. When you represent frequency of oscillation in centimeter inverse, you write omega. This omega is basically known as the vibrational constant, which is very important, which will help you to understand the spectroscopy. You see, once you calculate the fundamental frequency of oscillation, many parameters of the diatomic molecule you can work out, right? So this exercise will give you many problems. I would say many problems to compute. Here you see, you calculate your 0 point energy here. So you have calculated the 0 point energy. Naturally, nu equal to 0 is omega by 2. So you calculate the 0 point energy in electron volt. You calculate 0 point energy in centimeter inverse. You calculate 0 point energy in electron volt, and you see basically the find out the vibrational quanta. You see, that's why I'm saying that once you explore the oscillation frequency, you calculate the vibrational quanta. Vibrational quanta is spacing between the two vibrational level. See, that's very important factor, spacing between the two vibrational level. And spacing between the two vibrational level, you please calculate and find out the spacing in terms of electron volt. So when you find the spacing between the two vibrational level, let us say you have a vibrational level nu equal to 0. You have a vibrational level nu is equal to 1. So the vibrational, you calculate the spacing between the E1 minus E0, right? That spacing, and you compare this spacing with the thermal energy possessed by the molecule at room temperature, that is kT. Okay. K is a Boltzmann constant, T is the temperature. So the energy possessed by the molecule at room temperature in a sample is kT. And you calculate the vibrational quanta, that is the spacing between the two vibrational level, that is, let us say, spacing between the two vibrational level, that is E1 and E0. Right? The first excited state. So E1 minus E0. Suppose E1 minus E0 is delta E. So delta E is very much greater than kT. If you calculate kT, you will see of the order of, I think I have calculated, and I know that it is of the order of 0.022 electron volt. If you calculate kT, K is Boltzmann constant, T is temperature, room temperature 300 degree. You calculate kT, that will be of the order of 0.022 electron volt. And you calculate now vibrational quanta. So vibrational quanta is very much greater than kT, I would say. That shows that vibrational levels are not fairly populated at room temperature. You see, this thing you can explore here with the help of this. While you see in the previous case, rotational levels, I already explained, the rotational levels are fairly populated. Yeah, vibrational levels are not fairly populated, which you can explore with the help of this exercise. So you work out this problem, and you see this is the way you can work out. And now you can see these are the potential energy curve, which we will plot. This we will plot. We will find out this curve, and you see these are the various vibrational energy levels, and you calculate 0 point energy, you calculate E0, you calculate E1, you calculate E2, you calculate E3, you calculate E4. And you see the potential energy form is 1 upon half kx square. The potential is exactly parabolic. You see this is a parabolic nature, and we want to reproduce this curve for an HCl molecule. I will show you this. So this is what we want to work out for a potential energy curve. So this we will work out, and you can see now the mass potential I have already explained. And now you see that once you have the mass potential, and when you treat molecule as a enharmonic oscillator, the energy eigenvalue is given by this expression. Energy eigenvalue in terms of centimeter inverse, where omega E is the oscillation frequency of an enharmonic system in centimeter inverse. Chi E is known as enharmonicity constant. It is a dimensionless parameter. Chi E is the enharmonicity constant, which is very, very small and always positive. This you already derived when you study the vibration spectra. You are familiar with this expression. So you have to compute the allowed energies for enharmonic oscillator also. So calculate the energy for enharmonic oscillator. You calculate nu equal to 0. You find Z0. You compare the 0 point energy of harmonic oscillator with the 0 point energy of the enharmonic oscillator. You write the program, compare it, and find out the conclusion. So this is the 0 point energy of the enharmonic oscillator, and 0 point energy of the oscillator is not 0. See, that means vibration never dies at even very low temperature. That is also you can work out, that you can explore here. But if you keep your molecule at a very, very low temperature, vibration will never die. So this you will understand once you calculate the 0 point energy. So you have to calculate the 0 point energy. I have prepared the Excel sheet. I have calculated the fundamental frequency of oscillation. We have calculated the potential energy for harmonic oscillator as well as for enharmonic oscillator, and we have calculated the energy eigenvalue for harmonic oscillator as well as enharmonic oscillator. So this is your complete computational exercise you have to work out for an HCl molecule. So you see now when you see this curve, so this is again potential energy. This is the Morse potential. You see this is not exactly parabolic. Look at this potential energy curve is not exactly parabolic. There is a deviation here. And you will calculate the dissociation energy if you measure the dissociation energy. So this is the dissociation energy. If you measure this distance, it will be in terms of an electron volt. Here I wrote the expression for harmonic oscillator, but when you treat for enharmonic oscillator, this expression will be of this type, which I have mentioned. This is the expression here. So, and when you write energy, then you have to write down Hc here. If you write down E of nu, then it will be Hc omega E nu plus half minus Hc omega E chi nu plus half whole square when you write in Joule. And when you write in centimeter unit, you divide by Hc. If you want to write in Joule, you multiply by Hc. Multiply by Hc here, multiply by Hc here, so that will be energy in Joule. If you want to write in centimeter, divide by Hc. So if you divide by Hc, so Hc is divided, this is removed here. So this is in centimeter inverse. So you look at this energy which is calculated here, and look at this graph. And this graph is basically a Morse potential curve. This is known as a Morse curve. And this Morse curve we want to reproduce here for an HCl molecule. So you see with this, you can see you have an interactive exercise. So you can write your computer program in such a manner, write your code in such a manner that you can take different molecule. But as far as your journal is concerned, you please prepare for HCl molecule. So here I kept a star here. Your computational exercise, as far as your journal is concerned, you prepare for HCl. So you take the fundamental frequency you see is given. This is basically experimental observation. This is experimental value. It is 299.0, and you please note down that this is the data table for, because chlorine has an isotopes, and this is for 35. So HCl 35, Cl is 35. So you see this fundamental frequency is given in centimeter inverse. You can calculate in hertz also. So 2990.6, right? And this is n-hourcity constant. You see it is a dimensionless parameter. It's given. Force constant is 516 Newton per meter, and this is the bond length, Re, which is given. So this is given to you. Please remember, and the potential parameter which I said, you see when I wrote the Morse potential, please remember the dissociation energy is 5.36 electron volt, and the potential parameter beta is given in 1 upon meter. That is, this is a dimension 1 upon meter. So here I wrote it is in 1 upon meter. So now you have to select the molecule first and write the program, write the code either in C or in Python, or you may use MATLAB, or you may use Mathematica, or you can use an Excel sheet and work out this problem to find out potential energy curve for harmonic oscillator, enharmonic oscillator, obtain the allowed energy values for harmonic oscillator, obtain the allowed energy value for enharmonic oscillators, find out the 0-point energy for both the cases, and compare your results and give the conclusion. So these are the molecules: hydrogen fluoride, HCl, HBr, Hi, carbon monoxide, NO, right? And you have the ICl molecule. This is a very complex molecule. Of course, you can see the data for this, and you can refer a textbook of Fundamentals of Molecular Spectroscopy by Benval. It's a very famous book in spectroscopy, and most of the experimental data and the data which you want to compute are available in this book. So if you want to compare your data with the spectrum, let's suppose if you want to compare with the experimental observations, you may refer this book. So with this, now I would like to explain the Excel sheet. Of course, I can write my Fortran program. I'm an orthodox programmer and I use Fortran programming. Unfortunately, my compiler is not working. So I have prepared the entire things in Excel, and now I would like to share the Excel file, and I want to show you that how I have prepared a potential energy curve for an harmonic oscillator, enharmonic oscillator, and the allowed energy values. So look at the, so give me 1 minute and I would like to share the file. Okay, friends. So now let us study the potential energy. You see, I obtain here the potential energy curve, and first I will show you some parameters which I have used. So look at this here, dear friends. I consider the HCl molecule. I take mass of hydrogen atom in the first column in atomic unit, 1 atomic unit. Then I take mass of chlorine atom, 35. I calculated the reduced mass by using the formula M1 into M2 divided by M1 plus M2, which you can see here. Then I calculate its reduced mass in gram. I calculate its reduced mass in kilogram. You please remember. So this is very simple, you can do it. And the parameter you require is a force constant. So this force constant is given 516 Newton per meter. It's for HCl. So I have taken this 516 Newton per meter. Now this bond length is, you see this the bond length is given to you, and it is 1.27 into 10 raised to minus 10, that is 1.27 angstrom. But I am doing my calculation first in MKS, so I am writing 1.27 into 10 raised to minus, this is a same column, so I wrote it because I'm facing one problem, that's why I wrote all values same here. You see, this is the bond length. And now you see, this is a very important thing which I would like to specify. Distance R. Your distance R is the internuclear distance. That is, you measure this distance from the origin of the coordinate system. You are measuring from the origin. And at the origin, you are fixing one of the atom, you are fixing at the origin of the coordinate system. So your R will be, you see here, you can see this R is, I have taken is equal to G. You look at this expression bar, G3 minus 0.6 angstrom unit. You see this G3 is this bond length. So it is, I'm taking Re minus 0.6 angstrom. You see this Re minus 0.6 angstrom. Then this is Re minus 0.5 angstrom. This is Re minus 0.4 angstrom. This is Re minus 0.5 angstrom, something that you see, this is Re, and this is R equal to Re. You see, this is your R equal to Re 1.27. This is Re minus 0.1 angstrom, and this is R equal to Re. And this R equal to Re, you will have a potential energy curve, will be minimum potential energy curve, which you will see here. Okay, so I will show you this part. So you see this energy which we will see when you will calculate this part. So this is Re, and now you can see this column, this part. See, this is the other side of Re. This is 1.27 10 raised to minus. You see, this is the expression 1.27. This is and so this is R equal to Re. Now Re plus 0.1 angstrom unit. Re plus 0.2 angstrom unit. You see Re plus 0.3 angstrom unit. Re plus 0.4. I have taken the different results. And here you see on the other side, I take larger results because I want to show you the enharmonicity. You see, I have taken value, different value. Re plus 0.9, Re plus 0.95, like that. And you see, these are the simple calculation. And I calculated because I want to basically find out potential energy. So what you require, 1 upon half kx square. X is R minus Re square. So this is R minus Re square I calculated. You see R minus Re square. I calculated the potential energy in electron, you see in joule first. So this is the potential energy I calculated for R equal to 6.7 into 10 raised to minus 1 meter. You calculated this. Then for these R, I calculated the potential energy. You see, this is the potential energy I calculated. For all different values of R, I calculated the potential energy. Potential energy in joule, potential energy in electron volt, and potential energy in, you can see angstrom here, right? And once you know this, you can plot a graph of potential energy versus distance R. When you measure this distance R, this distance R, which is you see, this is basically meter. I have converted it into the angstrom unit by dividing by 10 raised to minus 10 meter. So you have to plot the potential energy versus distance R, where R is the internuclear distance, which should be in angstrom. So you see this distance which I measure in angstrom, and look at the graph here. The blue curve, you see the blue curve is representing your potential energy curve here. It's exactly parabolic, and you see the potential energy is minimum at R equal to Re. And your one of the atom is fixed here. You see this. The other atom is oscillating. This is the way it's oscillating. And you see its potential energy is changing, and the potential energy is exactly parabolic. You look at the blue curve. The blue curve is representing, you see this harmonic oscillator. So it's purely harmonic. You see it's a 1 upon half kx square. But when you see the Morse potential, look at the Morse potential. You look at this curve, the brown curve. You see this curve. The on one side, you see on the lower side of RE, the potential energy is almost having a parabolic nature. But you look at these for a higher value of RE, you see higher value of R, you see there is a deviation from the parabolic curve. You see, this is basically known as inharmonicity. You see, there is a deviation in a potential energy. There is a deviation from parabolic potential. You see, this is the purely parabolic potential. So it is basically having some additional term which we have introduced. You know, generally, basically, when you have a potential energy, 1 upon half kx square, right? So it should be like an fx square minus gx cube. Expression is like this: fx square minus gx cube. So where x cube, the cubic factor appears in the potential energy term. So if you fit the potential energy, and if you set up the expression of this, of course it is basically given by the Morse potential, right? But if you find the expression also, that expression of will be similar to like fx square minus gx cube, where x you have a cubic factor appear. That is gx cube is basically a perturbation in a potential energy term. So here you see I calculated now the Morse curve. You can see so you see here I write down the expression. This is the expression for a Morse potential energy curve, which I wrote here: dE my 1 minus exponential this b is beta r minus re. This expression I have to calculate. So this is basically the Morse potential. This potential I can. So these are all 4 steps which I the 4 column which I prepared. This is for computing the Morse potential. And you see this beta factor, I give the potential parameter in meter is given by 1.73 10 raised to plus 10 and meter inverse. This is given to you. Then the dissociation energy is 5.36 electron volt. I converted into the joule because I want to convert into joule, and then I will convert, and you have a same conversion factors also. So this is the dissociation energy, and I calculate the exponential factor. I multiply by dE, and I complete this computation, and you see I calculated a potential energy in joule. And you see the potential energy which we calculated joule for harmonic oscillator. This is the potential energy, this column, potential energy for harmonic oscillator. This is the potential energy we have calculated for enharmonic oscillator. And then I convert into the electron volt. You see this is an electron volt. And you see this is also an electron. This is the energy in electron volt for harmonic oscillator. You see it is here. And this is the energy for enharmonic oscillator. It is, you see, it is 17 and it is 5. Well, there is a considerable change in potential energy term. But you see that the point which we want to understand is this, that in case of a diatomic molecule, the atom which are oscillating about their internuclear axis are not oscillating under the influence of purely potential energy curve or purely potential energy, or I would say a purely parabolic potential. The potential is perturbed and the perturbation is introduced, and this perturbation is treated as enharmonicity. So this is the first part of your computational exercise. The second part of your computational exercise, you know that you people have to calculate the allowed vibrational energy and for harmonic oscillator and enharmonic oscillator. So you see you have again a second number of sheet I have prepared. You have the hydrogen atom mass, you have a chlorine atom, you have a reduced atom in gram, and you calculate it in kilogram, you have a force constant, and you calculate the energy, fundamental frequency of oscillation. You see, 1 upon 2 pi root k by mu is a fundamental frequency of oscillation. So I have calculated, you see this value here. This is the fundamental frequency. In the hertz, it is 9.0010 raised to 13 hertz. And then I calculated fundamental frequency in meter, that is known as the vibrational constant. So I calculated the vibration constant, and these are the different possible vibrational states. You see, you have an expression. You have a different possible vibrational state, nu equal to 0, nu equal to 1, nu equal to 2. I calculated the vibrational energy. You see, this is the vibrational energy I calculated for nu equal to 0 in Joule. I calculated for nu equal to 1, you see, and nu equal to 2, and look at this energy in meter. And you see, you can see verify. You see, this is E0, this is E1, this is E2, and you can see E1 minus E0. It is 45 minus 50, 30,000 meter inverse. You can see 75 minus 45, that is 30,000 meter inverse. Again, you calculate, you see the spacing between the vibrational level for an harmonic oscillator remains constant, which you can verify here. You see the energy spacing, that is the E1, this is E1, this is E1 minus E0. E1 is 45,000, E0 is 15,000, so 45,000 centimeter inverse minus 15,000 meter inverse, that is 30,000 meter inverse. Vibrational quanta. Here you see 75,000 minus 45,000, again 30,000 meter inverse vibrational quanta. Similarly, you find out E3 minus E2, you will have the same spacing. But if you see the energy which you are calculating for 0 point energy here, this is the 0 point energy, this energy which we have calculated for enharmonic oscillator. You see, this is the 0 point energy which I calculated here. This is G of nu in Joule, I would say. And then I convert into the electron volt here. See, so this is the 0 point energy in electron volt for an enharmonic oscillator. And you see, this is a 0 point energy of harmonic oscillator. This is an electron volt, and you see this is an electron volt here. This is the 0 point energy for an harmonic oscillator. It is 0.18675, and you see it is 0.18434. Compare the 0 point energy for an harmonic oscillator and enharmonic oscillator here. They are almost same here, but you see, as vibration quantum number increases, there is some deviation. 0.56, 0.54, 0.93, 0.89. You see, this is the point. And if you find the spacing between the vibrational level, and you will see that spacing is not constant. So with this exercise, you see, I have calculated the allowed vibrational energy, vibrational energy for a diatomic molecule, right? Or even if you are a local oscillator, let us say, if you have an atom in a solid which is oscillating, you can also calculate its vibrational frequency, and you can calculate its vibrational energy also. So this exercise, once you work out, you can understand the fundamentals of the vibrational spectroscopy. You can find out fundamental frequency of oscillations, and once you find out the fundamental frequency of oscillation, you can understand the concept of simple harmonic oscillation as well as enharmonic oscillator, and you can explore a diatomic molecule. You can see various properties of the diatomic molecule. Sometime you can study its symmetric property also with the help of the vibrational spectroscopy. So I hope you will work out this exercise with the help of HCl molecule, and you prepare your Excel sheet or your Fortran code, or you write your C language code. Write, prepare your hard copy, and you can attach in journal So you will have to submit the assignment for HCl molecule, right? So when you refer this video lecture, you can download the attached PDF file and perform the computational exercise for HCl molecule and work out the problem and find out the potential energy curve for harmonic oscillator, enharmonic oscillator, find the allowed energies, vibration energy for both the cases, conclude your results, and write the conclusion and submit your assignment. Okay, and you please write the program in such a manner that it should be interactive, so you can change the potential parameter. You see, the moment you change the potential parameter and the input parameters, you will have a potential energy curve for all the molecules. So those who wants to say to go explore the spectroscopy, vibration spectroscopy, I have given the data for various molecules. So use that data and write the program for all the cases and show how potential energy curve uh, is changing, and compare your result of harmonic oscillator as well as enharmonic oscillator for various type of molecule. Thank you very much, and I stop here. Okay.